Welcome to channel update video, which, I didn't want to have to do this, but it would appear as though I don't have that much time to play League of Legends anymore. Um, for anyone that's new to the channel, I've pretty much had another channel for about 2 years. So anyone that's been following me for that long will have a pretty good idea of, just our history and where the channel has been and where we're headed. So maybe you won't have a good idea where the channel is headed, and that's probably why you're watching this video. So basically what's going to happen is I'll keep this channel the way it is, except won't be doing League of Legends content. So everything you see on the channel now will be pretty much legacy content. I'm kind of unsure how many playlists it's gonna come down into, but basically League of Legends has changed a lot over the years, and my interest with it was pretty high around the beginning of Season 6, and it seemed like everyone was pretty interested in mastery videos and all that. Where I started, though, was gameplay videos, and basically what I would do is I would just upload my Twitch stream straight to YouTube, and some of you newer people won't know that, streaming wasn't that popular back then, and by extension, I wasn't really that popular. I did do quite a bit of commentating and educational content. So at some point, that channel, the very first channel, which would have been about 4 or 5 years ago, yeah, I want to say that's about the timeline. It had copyrighted content on it, and basically none of that stuff was capable of being monetized. I just did it for fun. I always wanted to learn how to do YouTube, and the point where I'm at now, I started a music channel. You can see it here on the sidebar, CC Nightcore. This channel is going to make up a pretty substantial portion of my time now. But yeah, I would definitely like if you guys could check out the new channel, because I'll still have some semblance of League of Legends content on there, because maybe if it's only just like League of Legends songs, maybe they'll just be like League of Legends pictures. But how to say this without alienating people, right? Basically, the aspirations for this channel was never to be high production value. It was always about helping people and, trying to help not necessarily lower rated players, but like-minded players and people that I could help pass some emotional baggage in their gameplay. Like, I even was going by the League Psychic for a while. I kind of picked up the nickname myself because I liked it, but it never really caught on, and it wasn't like something that I fully endorsed anyway. So, when I started this channel, I was already named Cloud Carry before. So the other channel, instead of keeping it around for legacy purposes, I chose to delete all the old content. So all of my old Twitch streams, you have to go to the twitch.tv/cloudcarry if you want to take a look at those. But I took them off of YouTube just purely for the sake of I didn't want to have a confusing set of channels, right? You wouldn't know necessarily which channel was the new one or which one was being supported, or are they both supported. So basically to mitigate some of that, I ended up deleting the old channel. And now that I'm going to be going towards the direction of royalty-free music, I figure I can tell a little bit about how I decided to start that channel. So at some point, I decided that I wanted to do live streaming So live streaming League of Legends games with royalty-free music sounded like a good option to me. But what I found out is that I didn't necessarily like all of the royalty-free music. So I was thinking, man, if I could just remix some of this stuff and like pretty much put it in a pitch and tone that I enjoy. I'm already a fan of Nightcore. I always wanted to do something with Nightcore as well. The new channel actually started out as just music for me, right? So as I start doing it, I realized that this is what I enjoy doing. So remixing royalty-free songs for other people to enjoy, I felt like this is better serving the people and myself. So instead of having some kind of League of Legends content that isn't fully supported and having a music channel that isn't fully supported, I've made the decision to fully support the music channel. There was quite a bit of work that I did last year in order to keep both channels running. I was doing 2 uploads a day on CC Nightcore. The format has changed to 1 song a day with a Nightcore mix every month. But, yeah. Basically, I was doing 2 uploads a day just to learn and to get better at my craft. So, now that I don't have as much time, there's no way that I can keep all the channels running, right? So, instead of losing all of my channels, I'm going to essentially close this one. And at some point in the future, you may see that it's gotten a rebrand, or the top link will still say Cloud Carry, but maybe the banner's changed and I changed my name as well. So if you feel like you want to stay subscribed, that's fine. But I would encourage you to check out the channel CC Nightcore, and just if you like other types of content, I've got some other great channels here that you can check out. So I basically don't want to be radio silent, I guess you could say. If you check out the Twitter for this channel, then it's really not it's not active at all, actually. So you'll see me spend most of my time with the new CC Nightcore Twitter and all of the branded accounts associated with that. This doesn't mean you won't see me on Twitch TV. I'll still probably be on certain channels that I've been on in the past. And yeah, I won't really go into much detail about that. If you're curious, you can ask me that on Twitter. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, basically I didn't want to leave without saying goodbye. I'm not very interested in the game anymore. It's become more of a chore each season. I haven't been super into it since around Season 2. Season 2 was when I was highest ELO. I would have been the equivalent of Diamond 1. So, at least back in the ELO system. And the funny thing about that is that I spent most of my time in ranked 5v5 because there was like no infrastructure for North America at the time. So a lot of what we did was try to develop that. And, you know, I did have some dealings with certain orgs at the time. I think, like, most notably, my team used to scrim Team Green Forest through multiple iterations, of course, of both teams. But, you know, we never got 100% picked up on any of the teams that I was on. So I was actually 80 carry main, so I obviously always duo queued with my support. So what happened with him is he was pretty much all in for Season 2, and then when Season 2 didn't work out, we were actually supposed to join Team Legion 2, but right around then, Riot made the team, or made whatchamacallit, the one team per organization rule. So there was effectively nothing for us to do at that point. And anyone that was in the scene semi-competitively or fully competitively, I guess, which there really wasn't much of a distinction back then. Uh, what ended up happening is most of those people quit, and the ones that were capable of staying on with no compensation did so. And you see some of these names in the scene today, obviously, still. But I guess the main focus would have been not necessarily that I was high elo or that I was like a semi-professional player at one time, but mostly to the fact that I'm just not as interested as I was back then. Since I've had no potential of playing professionally since then, I've gotten much older as time has gone on. And if you can imagine starting to play this game when you're like 24, 25, it's basically just been like 5 years. Just think about where you're going to be in 5 years if you just started playing and you're 24 and 25. Like, time goes on. Realistically, there's no way for this game to continue for forever. No, I really wanted to do longer form content. My intentions for this channel were always to educate and to give an alternative theorycraft on a lot of the stuff that I see, which most of the time, I think historically I've been ahead of the curve, which right now, even with this patch, I kind of knew where the lethality changes were headed, and I had like a pretty good idea that Riven would be really good on this patch, and like you can switch back to the Thunderlord's tree for lethality, and all these things, right? But when it came down to making my video, I just started to think like, well, I'm not really trying to compete with Skara, or I'm not really trying to compete with some of these better production value channels, but I really am. So because I am competing with these channels, there's just going to be less reward for me in general unless I can match those same production values. And that's a decision that I've had to make in the past and currently, is that it's just too much of a time commitment for me now. So if you do see me on this channel, there's the potential for me to be live streaming here. So if I'm live streaming on this channel, it might integrate some of the music from CC Nightcore. All of it will be royalty free, but for as far as this channel goes, it could see a rebrand. I might pick it back up in a year, something like that. But the future on this channel is not going to be League of Legends content. So instead of deleting everything this time, I'm just going to leave all of the videos, and they'll be kind of like tucked away in the corner if I do rebrand. So there's the potential for none of these videos to be visible. But what I will do, I can even do that right now actually, is just make like a playlist called Legacy Uploads, and then I'll just put all of my videos into that playlist, right? So that'll be at the bottom of the channel. I'm not going to mess with it right now, but yeah, let's see. If I could go through some of my upload history just for a minute. It was kind of hit and miss on a lot of these videos. So Season 7 preseason was the shortest preseason that I think anyone has ever experienced so far. Maybe with a few exceptions of being like early seasons that I don't remember. But yeah, the viewership was never the most important thing to me. The most important thing to me was helping people, and a lot of YouTube has changed over the years as well. So longer watch time, anything that you can do to generate more watch time is really good. That's kind of the thought process behind my patch notes review videos. I figured maybe if I can get enough people to watch for enough of a period of time, maybe YouTube will start to promote me enough. And currently, I'm not really at the views that I would need to be able to justify putting the time in right now. So But yeah, live streams have the potential to continue. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'll play League of Legends. You know, I'll probably still have an idea of what's going on with the scene, but it won't be anything like the last couple of years have been, at least for content creation from my side. So I guess all that's left to say is if you're a longtime subscriber, a longtime viewer, thank you very much for the support. I've enjoyed interacting with you, and I would encourage you to reach out now and in the future if you decide that you want to see more of my content. CC Nightcore is where you're going to want to go. So I think that's pretty much where I'm going to cut the video. So I didn't do as much as I wanted in terms of production value, but I don't see a way to compete with the bigger channels. And I don't want to see another couple of years where this channel just goes nowhere. So I'm cutting it short. You know, 250,000 views. That's fine. That's whatever. But yeah, I'm not interested in the game as much as I used to be. So thanks for watching.